Well, it's been a pretty good event.
Whew. Yeah. It's going to take me time to, like I said earlier, digest all of this. I'm going to be rewatching these videos a few times. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
And while our speakers put their cameras back on for a quick Q&A panel with them, type any questions you have in the chat.
Please.
We're not going to get to a ton because we don't have a ton of time, but we'll get to a few. And let's
I like that Marty just added, he wrote in the chat, looking forward to Salon number 3. He's planning on skipping the next one.
Oh, good. Well, that's fine. That's fine, Marty.
2 is not going to be good. I mean,
The odd. It's like Star Trek. It's the odd numbers, right?
We barely got. Yeah. It was a dredge for number 2. Yeah.
I just want to say a huge thank you to all the speakers, not only for being here, but for concisely trying to put huge concepts and tons of information into a small amount of time. That is insanely hard to do. My favorite author says if he spent less time on his books, they'd be longer, because like getting your point across is hard enough, but getting it across with time constraints is insane. Thank you all so much for being a part of that. We appreciate it. Luana, where are you at?
For videos.
No, I'm blocked. My video's blocked.
I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. Boom.
You know what you did.
Oh. Did I do that?
Hey,
I probably did that. Great. Did Zoe? Is your thing off too?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Excellent.
There it is.
Thank you all so much. While we get some questions from everyone else, I just want to ask, every one of you brought up so many points. Was there something that you heard someone else say that like hit you, that impacted you, that made you go, oh, I'd love to just kind of give props or share this or something like that? Anyone can go first if you have anything.
I love the sentiment. First of all, I just love this process and getting people to articulate things. I love the idea that if you think someone needs to do something, like, yeah, I love that idea. And I think as improvisers, that is definitely, it's just something that we should all embrace and just make happen. Love it.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Cream. Who else?
I mean, there was so much information. I'm like trying to come to like a point of like, I mean, there was something from everybody's talk that I was like, yes, 100. I'm so into this fucking shit. And now I'm like, just, oh, it's gone. I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, no worries if not any particular thing. I was just seeing if anything was out there. Roland, we got any questions?
I'm waiting for people to type stuff into the chat. Carrier asked a question. I don't know if it was for the panel or for everybody, asking when was the last class or workshop you took and when was it? Not sure if that was meant for the audience or for the panel.
That's a good question, though. Like as teachers, like do you still take workshops? What were the Jay?
Yeah, I just had a workshop that finished up with this past Wednesday with Monica Gaga and Stephen Davidson, and talking about they're so great. And it's talking about inclusion in workshops, and it was each week. Not only did they lead the workshop, but they had special instructors as well. So I recommend them fully. It was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, and Stephen has 2 books about playing like an ally and improvising gender.
Nice.
Yeah, he's great.
Wow.
The last one I remember taking, it's been a little while since, running a theater. There's not a lot of time. But the last one I took was actually not really with an improviser, or he doesn't call himself an improviser, but Jeff Worth, who does, what does he call it? Interactive theater? It's very audience participatory, where like he pulls an audience member onto the stage and like guides them through an experience. So you're learning how to like read their cues and read what they're really into and what they are, subtly like leaning in and out of, so you know how to give them the best time. Jeff Worth, I think he might be in Minneapolis. I might be wrong about that, but he's absolutely incredible and very unassuming and just like, wonderful.
Excellent.
Great. I've got a question here. Assad Khan wants to know: Do years of experience matter?
Good question.
Yeah. There's a certain level of experience once you get to be an expert improviser. So, no, of course not. It means nothing. I know people have never taken a class that are brilliant improvisers. I know people that have been performing 20 years I'd never get on stage with because I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And years in experience of what? In life and improv, in theater, and dancing, in playing, because if you're a kid, you have years of experience of playing. So that's you appear on stage.
There isn't really, I mean, experience really isn't the thing. It's really just like recognizing where you are right now and recognizing that everybody is in their own space. And if you can get rid of the idea that, like, I know we learn improv in like levels, that like level 1, level 2, you know, but there, like, there is no actual going up. It's just, you know, how comfortable you are with yourself, and recognizing that everybody is in a different boat. I think Kareem wants to say something. He's on my screen.
Ooh. Sorry, I keep making noises. I have a hard time listening without going, yeah, right. I had a realization a while back, a number of years ago, that the sort of threshold or the moment where I considered myself an improviser, not just someone who's doing improv, is not when I had a better idea of what was going on at all times on stage. It's when I had no idea and was more comfortable and accustomed to the feeling of not knowing, and that didn't throw me. It's like, oh, I know this feeling. Sweet, we'll figure it out. And I think that was kind of a big click moment for me. You know, that happens at 6 years, 3 months, 4 days, and 3 hours.
Okay, good, great.
I feel like as far as like trajectory, all class levels are like a tutorial of a video game, and the game doesn't really start until you're done. And like you can, like, you know, try the game out mid-tutorial. You can audition while in classes. In fact, I encourage people to do that all the time, because sometimes you just need to learn as you go. But I feel like that's all classes are. You're just learning how to do it. And like the technical stuff, you can read about it. Sometimes it's good to practice that. I know for me, that can be a big hang up. How do you execute this particular edit? Yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, once you have all of those, that's when the real game starts, right? And you can either go very quickly throughout it, you can speed run it if you're into that gamer lingo. Some people never really understand the game, and that's not bad of them, it's just maybe not their game. But it becomes all of that in your own personal learning curves, and how we can like work on, you know, if you have barriers up for any particular thing, how you can knock them down and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Amen.
I got another question here. Julian Gill, or Jill, I apologize if I'm saying the last name incorrectly, asks, does anyone have an exercise to stop some conflicting ideas right before getting on stage?
Conflicting ideas.
Why? Sorry, that's my
What do we mean by conflicting ideas?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, Julian, you want to?
I can
Julian.
talk about some tools that my group has for dealing with conflicting ideas, but not avoiding them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have a safe word for because sometimes the conflicts for that day, you're not in the good vibe or energy to deal with that in that day. So we have a safe word that when we say it, the scene stops, no question asked. If you want to share, you can, but we have that to respect your own time in that day. We do check-ins before the rehearsal about body and about how you feel emotionally, because it is improvised. So it's not, in that matter, it's not like script theater that you know what is going to happen, so you can measure expectations. And so we do check-ins and also check-outs. Like it was something that didn't work, and why, and we deal with the conflicts.
Ooh, yeah. That's great.
Anyone else? So, because I have one here that I think I would love to hear what everybody has answered. Yeah, Shirley Waynes asks, what keeps you engaged?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, it's a loaded question a little bit for me, but I really a while ago became obsessed with the whole thing that is what I was talking about in my talk, the philosophy of like the art of you. And so my husband is always saying that that if I recognize that something makes me uncomfortable or makes me feel nervous, that I 100% then will do it. Then I'll just make myself do that thing. So like being involved in improv is being involved in the progression of my life and who I am as a person, and not necessarily like being involved on being on stage, because right now we can't physically be on a stage. So, like my mom is a baker and she's really good at it, and she never taught me how to do that because she's like a selfish person, and like she didn't want me to fuck it up. So I was never allowed to bake with her, and because of that, I developed a lot of like, well, you can't do that, and baking is science, and you're not a scientist, whatever. But I got so mad about it recently that I was like, I could fucking bake some cookies. And I really went down a wormhole, and now I am baking all the time just to prove that I can do it. But, this talk right here was something that when I got the email from you guys about, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then I was like, oh no, like I have to prepare something to say? That is the antithesis of me. I just want to go off the cuff all the time. So like writing it down, it's been a whole process this week. Anything that makes me feel fearful, if that's my kids or honestly, sometimes like sex or sexy stuff makes me feel uncomfortable, you guys. Oh my God, can you believe I'm sharing this?
Oh my God.
Yes.
And I'm constantly in the pursuit of, I feel like I'm just constantly trying to find that next thing that makes me feel uncomfortable and feel insecure, and trying to feel more grounded in it, because it's just all experience. It's not good or bad. So that's how I stay engaged in improv and in life, is by continually trying to, fucking make sourdough bread. I am not good at yet, but I will make sourdough some. Kill all this yeast. I'm killing yeast nonstop.
Anyone else on that? How do you keep yourself engaged?
Well, I think making sure that you're taking care of yourself, right? I just answered a different question in the chat about like, supporting things. And like, I think so often we think that something about the other person is reflective on us. And this question of engaging, it's like, am I like, oh, are you doing enough? How are we doing this? And sometimes it's just that check-in with yourself. And, did you get enough sleep before the show? Like, are you just hyped up on caffeine? Have you been able to pay attention to most things throughout the day? Did you stretch? Like, these are all things that can really affect the way that you interact with things. If you go out and, it's like, even the best of us will have like just rough starts to improv scenes, and the make or break often is how we respond to that, and how we're going with it. So.
Wow. Yes, absolutely. Jay.
Hey
everyone, remember we're in a fucking global pandemic. Go easy on yourselves.
Yeah.
We're in I mean, like, don't feel bad if you're not engaged. Don't feel bad if you need to sleep. I had a therapist who said, Jay, if you're depressed, be the best depressed you can be. And I was like, fuck you, dude. But then I get it. It's like, don't forget, we're in this. Yeah, I'm like, I said that, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. What does that mean? And then I got it, and it was like, this is part of accepting what's going on, which is, and Denzel talked about, it's like accepting the truth. What's the truth? We're in a global pandemic. You're going to feel more anxious. It's just part of what it is, but everything changes. So like, take a breath, be okay not responding to that email, be okay responding to somebody's text in your head, and then you're like, shit, I didn't actually respond to it. Like, it's all giving yourself a little bit of a break and going, hey, why don't I just love myself more and be okay and have empathy for myself? And sometimes, when this pandemic started, it's like, oh man, I got to start doing things I've been telling people that they should do, which is stay in the moment. Everything changes. And it's so hard as teachers, we start going, oh shit, the shit we say, we better start believing and living that. So go easy on yourselves right now. Like, it's just, we have no idea what's going to happen. I talked to a friend of mine early on. I'm like, how are you dealing with this? He goes, man, everything changes so quickly right now with what's happening in the world. So just realize this all is going to change. Everything changes.
You are someone.
Yeah.
You are someone.
It's
Exactly.
a callback. Thank you, everyone.
I can answer that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Last word, Luana.
No, just I think what gets me and make me be engaged, it's it's the project and the people. And when I say project, because I have a lot of solo projects, so it's the project, something that I really want to share or play or is important. And that can happen a lot, many times in your life. The same issue when it comes back as a callback, it comes in another perspective. And I like to approach that again. And yeah, I think it's being curious about life, and theater is the way that I do it, that I approach life. So it's more about anything like, oh, this is great colors. I can work with colors, and that's it. Yay, let's see. I don't want to do it anymore.
Be curious.
I love it.
Yeah.
Roland?
Rich, yeah. So before we say goodbye to everybody, I want to make sure that I give all our presenters a chance to put into the chat all of your whatever your contact info you want to put in. If you want to put an email, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, your link tree, your phone number, your other phone number, snail mail address, social security number, bank account, ATM pin, whatever you want to put, please go ahead and put it down. We will write it down. I'm trying to make this go as long as possible. We have minutes
I can tell.
Fill. Yeah. So go ahead and put those into the chat. That way people can go ahead and write those down, jot those down.
Doing that.
Yes. You can get more from everyone here. There's between videos and blogs, all kinds of different things. Everyone's got content out there. Please follow. And when we post these videos on YouTube, we'll get all this stuff and put it in there as well.
Yeah. If you're here and you signed up for this, you will most likely get an email from us letting you know that these videos are out there. So I expect that.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Luana. Thank you, Kareem. Thank you, Denzel. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Roland. Thank you, everyone who showed up. This was when Roland and I were like, has this ever been done before? I don't know. Do we know how to do it? I don't know. Let's do it. And we asked 5 people, and they all said yes, and they're right here. And we can't thank you enough for being at the first Improv Salon.
This blew away my expectations sincerely. Holy crap. Thank you all.
All right. We're out. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is where I wave slowly until people leave the chat. There they go. Bye.
They're leaving.